that stone of help, only you are my help. My stone of help, only you are my help. My stone of help, only you are my help. You answer me, you lift me up, my stone of help, only you are my help. Ebenezer, my stone of help, only you are my help. Ani tete Jehovah, only you are my help. Ancient waters, ancient spirits, protect us, provide for us, shield us from the eyes of the envious ones, both the humans, animals, and spirits. Amen. May the spirits of those that have left before us, and they remain a beacon of knowledge to our lives and all. Now, let's talk about Ebenezer. Ebenezer, over 6.1 million views on YouTube alone. Nathaniel Bassey. When we talk about Ebenezer, what is it? Stone of help. That should be 1 Samuel, right? That should be 1 Samuel 11:12. I'll be 7. 1 Samuel 7 verse 12. You can never talk about Ebenezer without first of all talking about 1 Samuel 7 verse 12. But you know what? When you read from verse 11, you will understand that according to the Bible said, then the men of Israel charged out of Zippa and pursued the what? The Philistine. This was a time of war, striking them down all the way down to Bisca or Betka, however you want to call it. So verse 11 talk about how the children of Israel were charging towards the Philippines and destroyed all of them. Then verse 12, that was where the prophets now had to thank God. You know, when you read verse 12, it says, and then Samuel took a stone, put it on top of the Zippa, whatever you call it, and then he called it the stone of help. Those of you think the stone of help is talking about David that destroyed Goliath with the stone, with the pebble. It's not. Don't try to miss it. It's a different story entirely. So the stone of help, this was the first time the word Ebenezer was mentioned in the Bible, the stone of help. What is really Ebenezer? One of the major problems I have with Christians is the ability, for somebody to say, I don't care about the past. What matters is the present and what the future holds. The truth is this, don't be deceived by all these modern day, what do you call it? All these modern day motivational speakers and pastors and imams, forget about the past, today, tomorrow. No, let me tell you something. You cannot live a good life today if you don't understand in full detail what yesterday was, so that you'll be able to plan for tomorrow. Meaning to be able to attain a good life, to be able to live righteously, to be able to make success out of your life, you must study yesterday so you don't make the mistakes of yesterday today, and then you learn from the past and what you're passing through today to build a better tomorrow. But one of the deficiencies we have here in Africa is that we don't care about yesterday. We easily forget yesterday. That is why among African nations, we still keep voting for old men to be our leaders. Even when the past one did not do a good job, We want to believe the next one is going to do a good job instead of changing, instead of studying the past, so that we can be able to rearrange our present for a better tomorrow. If not be that one, why would anyone who called himself a Christian and assume that Jesus Christ is everything, and anything that is not Christianity is hellfire, would actually sing a song, Ebenezer, without understanding it? It's obvious. The Bible said, my people perish due to lack of knowledge. And I'm not here to shame any religion, but I've encountered Muslims, I've encountered Christian, and I've encountered Hindu and the rest religion, but I discovered that the level of low, the level of low, Christians are the lowest. What I mean, as in over lowest. There are the people you can literally tell that Jesus Christ is actually from. In fact, even Igbo people are already saying that Jesus Christ came from Igbo land. Yoruba say he came from Yoruba. The Bantu say he came from Bantu. In anything you tell them, they will just accept it without bothering to even try to study. And that is why there is a saying that said, if you want to hide anything from an African man, put it inside a book. Gone are the days that we were actually studying. Do you know that the act of intelligence, study, writing, documentation actually started from Africa? Yes, our forefathers, the Kemet, the Kush, the Nubians, they invented the act of writing, recording, intelligence, science, surgery, metaphysics, cosmology. All of it were invented from the Kemet, the Kush people, our great, our ancient fathers. But you know what? I'm not here to talk about the history of Africa, where we are coming from. I'm here to talk about Ebenezer. Explaining Ebenezer, before I explain, is not God. It's not God. It's not Jesus. It's not Jehovah. Forget. The guy who sang Ebenezer, Ebenezer, my stone of help, only you are my helper. I call it religious psychological stimulation. Music has a way of stimulating people. Music is very powerful. But when you do music without proper understanding, you'll be leading people astray. Anyway, he does not know. Now, let's dive down. The Kemet people speak a language called Medu Necha. It's actually spelled Medu Neta, but it's pronounced Medu Necha. Good. Medu Necha happens to be the oldest form of writing worldwide. There's no other language that is older than Medu Necha. And it started from the Kuch people. They devised a means of documentation, writing, reading, and studying. It's obvious that was where the first university, organized college, was established. And all of these writings and later evolving of the language was what gave birth to all the books that you can actually find in the Great Alexander Library that was destroyed during the war. Now, Medu Necha has two different ways of spelling, one with vowel sound and the other one with the exact word. So you could see something like VKT as VKT arrow as Victor. VKT arrow as Victor, and VICTO arrow as Victor. I don't want to go deep into that. Now, the word Ebenezer originally came from the Medu Necha word, came from the word Lapilazo, Ebenezer, Lapilazo. And so when Medu Necha began to evolve, you already know that Medu Necha is the first language which evolved into Hebrew, the Aramaic, the Arab. Now a time came to a point where Hebrew, the Kemet word for Lazuli, was finally, when the language began to evolve and change into different language, the Hebrews will now call it Epilazuli. Now, Hebrew began to evolve, other language began to come in. When people started coming in, you can see in the Bible where God said, you are beginning to bring stranger into the land and they have corrupted your people. I'm going to curse you. I'm going to do this. There in the Bible, the language begin to change. And that is why you can find out that the Yoruba, the Edo, the Isoko, the Urobo, there are some language that you can find in between, you can understand ourselves to an extent. And when that language changed, Lapis Lazuli from the Medu nature changed to what? Epilazuli. Epilazuli is a lost word for that particular thing that you guys are calling Ebenezer today. Now, during this time of Hebrew, this was the time everybody wanted to conquer. The Greek conquered, they ruled. First, it was the Egyptians, the great Egyptian, the Ramesses and the rest of. They ruled, and then the Greek took over. Then the Roman came, fought the Greek, took over Africa and the whole of the Hebrew, the Jews, the Israel, all of them, they're under the what? The Rome. Here, language changed. And when the language changed, from Epilazuli, it translated to what? Ebenezer. Now you ask yourself, what is Ebenezer? First of all, let's go back to the root, or the original word, Lapis Lazuli. It's actually a stone, a blue stone. It is referred to by the Medu nature as the divine stone. That stone was the only representation of Horus and other ancient African what? Deities and gods and belief and phenomena. And so you find out that back in the time of the Kemet, whenever they want to offer sacrifices without the stone of Lapis Lazuli, the sacrifice is not accepted. The stone is placed on the altar. Even Abraham had that stone on the altar. All of these stones were present in the Old Testament. Yes, it's in the Bible. This stone that they used to carve all the gods and the rest in the old Kemet culture is in the Bible. Job 28 verse 6, it's there. Job 28 verse 6 is there. Job 28 verse 16 is there. Isaiah 54 verse 11, it's also there. And the most significant one is Isaiah 54 verse 11. Can we read it? Afflicted city, lashed by storm and not comforted. I will rebuild you with stones of turquoise, your foundations with lapis lazuli. This is the stone. Why would a nation destroyed and then it's not being rebuilt, but the foundation with lapis lazuli? Because the stone is a divine stone dating back to what? The Kemet. You can see them on the screen as I'm talking. You can see the stones. These stones were dedicated for the gods, especially the god of Horus and all the divine entities of the ancient Egyptians, our great grandfathers and mothers. These stones were referred as divine stone. This was the same stone that Samuel was talking about. This was the same stone that they used in all the sacrifices. That stone was there. Even this stone was in the altar of the Lord. When you read the Bible down and study it down, lapis lazuli. This was what translated by language to what? Ebenezer, the stone of what? Help. Because whenever they go for war, lapis will always be among them. That stone is always among them. I have some in the house. If you want to buy, chat me up. It's not expensive. 30, 50,000, 100,000. One, I can make a bid and put lapis. It has power. It has power. It defeats war. It breaks down war. Bad spirit, it chases them away. Now, this brings me to a question I want to ask most Christians. Ebenezer, coming from the lapis lazuli, the stone that was used to carve different gods of the Horus. And we already understand that Horus, the story of Jesus Christ actually originated from what? Horus. If all of this dated back to history, what is Christianity then? What is life then? If every walk of life dates back to the ancient Kemet people, the Kush people, the ancient Egyptians, what is your proof that there is actually something there waiting to embrace you? If every religion on earth came from the Kemet people, the ancient Egyptians, our forefathers, what is your proof? And one of the major reasons why a lot of people will come after me is that when I am able to prove to mankind that Christ never actually existed, which is going to be difficult for most of you to accept because you've already been brainwashed. not only will Christianity crash, Islam will crash. Zoroastrianism will crash. Because it's obvious that Zoroastrianism from the Iran, you know Zoroastrianism, the religion of Zoroaster, the prophet Zoroaster. Iran, why is the logo of Zoroastrianism also carrying the wings, the god wings, the Isis wings of Egypt? Look at it. It's only on the scene. How come? And then why is that? The cross of Christianity is the sign of life in the ancient Egypt. They just paint out to be cross. Why is this so? Because the question here is this: if a symbol of a religion is a symbol of crucifixion and shame, what do you call that religion? Is it not shame? I want to start a religion now, for example, and then my son was flogged to death by a rope. I decided to use rope as a symbol of my religion. No, it's mockery, it's insult. So remember, anytime you sing Ebenezer, Ebenezer, know that you are talking about what? The divine stone of the ancient Kemet. That stone was used to make what? Gods. It was used to make mermaids. You know, it's not mermaids actually. You know, deities. You know, you made deities. You know, the Lapis beetle, all of them. So my people, don't be deceived. Christianity is actually paganism. Paganism is not going to church. Paganism is actually anyone that does not conform to the original teaching and religion of the African spirituality. Because we were the one that gave birth to every other religion. If they can attribute that, okay, yes, we came from African spirituality, I will not be here trying to prove them. They are saying they came. Christianity, don't you have a root? You have a root. You started somewhere. We had done no religion before you started. Yes, they were. So where did you come from? Why is that almost more than 90% of the things you do in Christianity today are backed up by the ancient Egyptian culture, the African culture, the African spirituality. Do you want more? For those of you who want the stone, please chat me up. I will give it to you. Ebenezer, Ebenezer, the stone of faith, only you are my help. Ebenezer is derived from the blue stone that was used to mold and venerate the ancient Egyptian god Horus. And we already know that the story of Horus was where Jesus Christ